Okay, let's get this party started. I wanted to share this with y'all because this is one of my favorites and it's really quick. I believe that a whole lot of parents who are going through financially, this may be good for you to try. I want to share with you in regards to making something quick for the kids, especially because they're out of school. So get your pen. I'm not a Betty Crocker or anybody like that, but I do like to share a little creative stuff that I make for me. Okay, so check this out. So when I first made this, what I put together was the fresh hotel tomatoes, cilantro. What else I got here? The red bell pepper, garlic, fresh garlic, and minced garlic. And I also put um, a whole stalk of green onion. Okay. And of course, cooking in my wok as usual. Okay. But I love to cook in. Now, in case my wellness coach is watching me, I'll let you know I'm just hungry. So this is something quick, and she taught us this weekend about those labels. I did the best I could, but this is what I needed to do that I call quick. Okay. All right. So anyway, with that, once I got all that in there, I'm still chopping that up. Again, I use a whole stick of the green onion, lime, do that, and the red bell pepper. So I'm finishing up my red bell pepper. You can now slicing it, cutting it up real good. And by the way, just so you know, what I'm listening to while I'm cooking, it's called The Altar of Prayer. It is by Worship Piano. I just love them. Okay. So I'm squeeze some lime in here. I know y'all can't quite see from there. I'm squeeze some lime in here, maybe like about a teaspoonful. And then I'm going to start taking my broccoli. That's the next part of this meal. So you see that fresh broccoli? Look how green and pretty it is. Okay, so I got it all cleaned up and sliced up and everything. And I'm going to dump it in the skillet. All this is going to be sauteing together, okay? So I started out high, but then after I get it, after so high, I started to turn it down because I wanted to kind of like just simmer. So I got a couple more pieces of fresh garlic and the rotel tomato that I want to cut up in here as well. So let me see. I want to make sure you can hear me, so I'm going to turn my music down. So I make sure you hear me. I just love worship piano. Okay. I don't want to turn it all the way down. So I want to hear something. Okay. So anyway, I got all of that in here now, stirring it up, the broccoli and all the, veggies and stuff that I just described, tomatoes and all of that. I got that in here. And then I let it kind of like sit there maybe like a couple minutes, on high as it steams. And then after I've done that, then I take probably about a half a cup of the vegetable broth and I put that in there, the vegetable broth. About a half a cup. You need to just use it according to how much broccoli you put in. Okay. So I kind of let it like maybe be a little bit above the broccoli, but not very much. And that's basically all I put in there. And incidentally, I did forget to tell you that I did, before the sauteing happened, I used this Bertelli organic extra virgin. I'm not advertising none of these people. I'm just telling you what I use. And so I use this organic extra virgin olive oil, like a tablespoon of that, and a tablespoon of real butter. Okay, I put that in there as well. And then while that is boiling, I take Trying to get these things together here. I don't have a big kitchen like a lot of y'all. Then I take the seasonings and I start to put them in. So I'll tell you what I got. I got the tomato basil seasoning. I put that in there. Just shake a little bit. You don't want to put much because the Alfredo is going to already season it up. You love to use my slap your mama. Put that on there a little bit. And then I use the garlic powder, and onion powder. Put both of those in there. Okay. And remember, we're just shaking it in there enough just to give it some seasoning. You don't want to be going real heavy-handed. Even though I know that my Alfredo has basil in it already, I still use basil leaves. All right. Put some of that in there. And then I put the smoked paprika. Okay. Some of that in there. And you already know I gotta have my Louisiana kick. The cayenne pepper. Okay. I put some of that in there. I put a little bit more than some of y'all would want, but that's the way I eat it hot. And then I put the ultimate garlic in there. Ultimate garlic. Okay. These are all seasonings. Okay. All right. And then finally, the cilantro lime seasoning. I'll put that in there. Okay. Now, there's a lot of seasoning, but it really gives it a good kick. That's why I put it all in. Okay. The cilantro lime. I put a little bit more of that in there because I don't know, something about the lime that gives it some kind of kick. I don't know what it is. It just makes it taste different. So while that's cooking and steaming, I put the top on it and let it steam for a few minutes like it is now. Steam. Oh, actually, I put fresh cilantro in there too. Maybe like as long as your finger, that amount. Cilantro. Fresh cilantro. And I let that steam a little bit. Then after I got it steamed down really good, everything, then I take my my noodles. No, not noodles, my sausage. Now this is the sausage that I use, and I always use this brand because this brand tastes really good. And I'm not trying to promote them, but in case y'all see me promoting y'all, you need to give me something. But anyway, I use this one, Johnsonville, and I like it. So I chop it up in chunks like this. Now, y'all, for these children that are on the summer appearance, y'all can make this for them really quick. It's really good. And I know it may have a lot of things in it that's not that healthy, but a lot of our pockets can't buy the real healthy, but we can still improvise. So I got the sausage, I cut it up. It's only 6 links come in this bag, in this package. This is the one I bought in New Orleans. You see that? Okay. The Johnson brand. And then I chop them up in chunks, see? And then I put those in there. As they're steaming, I put those in there. All right. And then after I finish stirring that up really good and letting it steam, I'm gonna put the top on in a minute, let it steam a little bit. I'm gonna put the top on because I love the wok, because the wok is really do something. I don't know what they're doing something for the food. That's why I like the wok, especially this one. In case you don't know what brand to get, I ain't advertising them either, but this is the brand wok that I have, and it cooks really good. Can you see that? This is the wok that I have. All right. So anyway, really good. And so I'm letting that boil just about 2 or 3 minutes. And after that, then I'm going to take the noodles. Now here's the deal about putting the noodles in the Alfredo. Before you want to do that, you want to make sure that you stirred it up good and you let it all steam before you mix these other 2 ingredients with the noodles. Because the last time I did it 2 times I did that, I fell asleep and the noodles got overcooked. So you don't want that. I want you to think about taking the noodles and let them cook according to the timeline that is required for the noodles, which is only 3 minutes. Right? I must let them to sit in that juice for a long time. So they got real mushy. So you want the noodles to be, you can use any noodles you want, but I like the way these taste. So let me show you these two real quick that I use. Wow, this is steaming this up. These are the two that I use. Now, usually I use them by themselves. These two, the top ramen chili. Okay, I use these two by themselves. Or because I ran out of the chili one, now I'm using these two together, the chicken one. Okay, and so what I did is I took them and I rinsed them real good. This is boiling really good over here. Then I took them and I rinsed them, and then I just broke them up. And you can chop them up if you want to. I chop mine with scissors or knife into 4 squares. And so, and then after they're ready to go in, that's gonna be my last thing that I put in. All right. And so this is steaming up really good over here. So I want to go ahead and let you know that I've got it steamed the way I want it with the sauces, because I want everything to cook in together. So all the seasonings can come in with it. Yes, this is really getting the way I want it. And so then now what I'm going to do is get some more of this veggie, this vegetable broth, along with the Alfredo. This is the one I'm using. The creamy basil Alfredo. This is the one I'm using. This is my favorite. Look what it's called. Creamy basil. And I love this one. It just gives the food such a good taste. Anyway, we'll put that in there in a minute. But the only thing goes last is the noodles. Okay. So I'm gonna turn it down a little bit because it's really going wild. All right. Now I'm gonna put in these two things because I want them to be in and get through all the seasonings, because I want the noodles and the broth and the Alfredo sauce to all mix together with the noodles. They have to be last so it can simmer. So these 3 things I put last: the Alfredo, the vegetable broth, and I didn't mention this one, but the sun-dried tomato salad dressing. Okay, it gives it some kind of kick. I can't explain it. Okay, so but anyway, so I'm going to put that in here now, so that the noodles can get prepared to simmer with it. And hopefully you'll consider doing this meal for your children. And so this is all I have left. So I'm getting an idea about how much I put in each time. That's all I got left, right? So all of that is going to go in here, right? So I shake it up good. And then I put that in here. And I just squeeze it in there. Sausage and everything. Okay. And then I pour in the Alfredo. Okay. I'm trying to get it done because I am hungry. And I pour in the Alfredo. And then, of course, we want to make sure that we got it clear. I want to put a little bit of water in there and shake it around. I usually don't put the water. I usually put the vegetable broth in there to try to get whatever's left in the Alfredo jar. So I usually add a little vegetable broth in there because I got to pour a lot of vegetable broth in here anyway. So I shake it around and put that in there. Okay, and then just pour that in there too to add some more. Not water. Try to avoid water. Okay, only use the vegetable broth. So I'm gonna go back. Let me move some of these things out the way. Okay. So like I said, you want to get your fresh broccoli, you got your noodles. You can cook any kind of noodles in there you want. But these are easy because they cook quick and they may not be healthy, but it tastes pretty darn good to me. And so then, while this is simmering, now I'm ready to put in my noodles that I chopped up. Okay, so you can see I just chopped them up in pieces. I really just cut mine up with a knife because I have to rinse them first. You rinse. Do not use the packet that comes in with these noodles. You don't need that seasoning. You put your own seasonings and herbs in there. And so You can use any noodles you want, but these were quick for me, so I use these. And so then I put them in there. Okay. Make sure you rinse them first. I rinse them with hot water or cold, it don't matter. But I usually rinse mine with hot water. Okay. Can't wait for this to get done because I'm hungry. I just woke up. I'm tired. So parents that are tired and children are screaming and hungry, this is a good little way to make a little meal for them. It's got the broccoli, the sausage, the noodles. You know they love these ramen noodles. So at least you can sneak some broccoli in there, or even spinach. But I like the broccoli. Sometimes I make something like this with spinach, but I like the broccoli, and I love. You want to make sure the consistency of it too is not watery. You want to make sure that it's kind of got the thick, Alfredo sauce look to it. So that means you got to turn the fire down, let that simmer. You don't want to put water if it looks like it's drying out. You only want to use the vegetable broth, okay? No water, all right? So I'm going to add a little more vegetable broth because I want to make sure that it cooks down and the sauce is still flavorful and I don't have a bunch of broth or water. If you put water, I don't use water. And then that's basically all it is to it. That's it. I certainly hope I put enough cayenne pepper in there because I like for mine to be spicy. And it's really, really good. There's nothing else to eat with this. You don't need anything. You got the noodles that's already your carbs. You got veggies. You got sausage. You don't need anything else. It's got the garlic and everything else in it. Oh, I'm so glad I'm done. I'm out of here. Just wanted to share that with you all today because these children are out of school. And this just might help a sister or brother out. Okay. Gotta go. I pray it helps you. It's certainly gonna help my belly because I'm hungry. Bye-bye.